I remember the day that Bertha died. Now, who's Bertha? When I was 16 years old, I had a car that was unlike any other car that any of my friends had. It was a 2-seater heater. It was 300 horsepower of naturally aspirated perfection. I'm talking 4-wheel steering. I'm talking T-tops. I'm talking Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound with a Pioneer deck. The car was a Nissan 300ZX. It was fast like lightning. I remember I would go inside, I'd turn on the ignition, I'd put on my sunglasses, and I'd go vroom, and I would drive all around the mean streets of Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're actually not very mean. They're actually quite nice. But I loved this car, and it was amazing. Me and Bertha, we would travel all around the city. We'd go to ice cream shops and drink ice cream. We'd go to the park and play in the swings. I'd go to school and read my books. Bertha and I, we were inseparable until the day that everything changed. Just thinking about it makes me sad and emotional because, oh man, Bertha was so important to me. But anyways, one day I was driving. And while I was driving, I looked at the front of my car, and on the front of my car, there's a little lever that tells me how much gasoline or petrol is left in the car. And there was a little light that was flashing that said, out of gas, out of gas. So my car started to sputter. It was like, vroom, 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 vroom. And so quickly there was a gas station or a petrol station that was right next door. So I went, vroom, and I went inside, and I was about to, put some gas in the car, but I started looking around and I couldn't find my wallet. Now, of course, you need a wallet in order to have money that I could pay for gas. And if I don't have money to pay for the gas to put into the car, well, they're not just going to let me put it in there for free. So I started thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And I thought, I've got some change sitting around here because, every once in a while some of the coins fall out of your pockets and into the various crevices of the seats. So I started looking around for them, and I was able to gather approximately 97 cents, which isn't a lot of money, but back when I was 16, 15 years ago, 97 cents, you could do a lot with the 97 cents back then. Anyways, I took this 97 cents and I went to the gas, and I started thinking about which one I was going to use. Now, when you go to the gas station, at least in the United States, there are 3 different types of gas that you can get. There's the one on the all the way left, 93 octane. This is pure power, and this is the good stuff that when you put it into your car goes vroom and goes super fast, but it's also very expensive. I only had 97 cents, so I couldn't do that. Then there's the one in the middle, and then there's the cheap stuff. Now, I only had 97 cents, so I thought to myself, let me just put in a little bit of the cheap stuff. It's enough to take me home, and then when I get home, I'll deal with it later. So I took the nozzle off, I put it into my car, I pressed the button, let the gas come up until 97 cents, and took it out, put it back in, went inside, gave him my quarters, and I turned on my car and went home. When I got home and turned off my car, what I didn't realize was that Bertha was never going to start back up again. Okay, I'm not actually crying. It's okay. But let me tell you what happened. I came back outside a couple of days later, ready to take Bertha out for a spin. I thought maybe we'll go grab some ice cream or some donuts. I put in the key into the ignition and I turned it. But when I turned it, it was like, I was like, oh my goodness. So I tried again. It was like, I was like, oh my goodness. So I did it again. It was like, And it sounded so bad that my neighbor came over, and my neighbor Barry came over, and Barry said, Amin, what's going on? It seems like you're having some difficulty with little old Bertha over here. I said, I don't know what's going on. He says, well, Amin, let me ask you one question and one question only. And I said, okay, Barry, what's your question? He said, what did you give it for gas? And that's when I started thinking. I normally give it the 93 octane, the good stuff, the pure stuff. But I had given it the bad stuff. I told Barry, and Barry looked at me and he says, don't you know, Amin, you are what you eat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hoping you are well. This is Amin Asr from Noor Kids. Now today we're going to be talking about just that. You are what you eat. But we're not talking about Bertha or the car. But this idea that, if you put bad gas into your car, of course your car is going to get hurt after a while. Well, what about our bodies? And as we've been talking about lately, what about our soul? How do we feed our soul, and how do we make sure that the food that we feed it is the 93 octane kind of food, the best? So that way we can be at high performance. Now, before we get into that, allow me to introduce myself. For those that have not met me before, my name is Amin Asr, and I am the author of Noor Kids. What is Noor Kids, you ask? Great question. Noor Kids is a children's book series in which every month families receive a new children's book delivered directly to their home. We publish amazing books like Squeaky Clean and Take the High Road and Agents of Change and Faithful Friends and Animals of Allah and Faith Over Fear and Fairness for All and The Dark Whisper and so many more. I could do this for days because we've published over 40 books. Every month families receive a brand new book delivered directly to their home. Books that help kids fall in love with Allah. Think about that for a moment. Amazing, right? Amazing. Not only that, you get a global Muslim citizen passport. We're able to collect badges. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're doing the deal of the year. The deal of the year, the deal of the century, the deal of the millennium. Okay, maybe not the deal of the millennium. It's a pretty good deal. We're basically giving this for free. You'll be able to get this box, your very first book, and your very first passport for basically free, $1. For $1, we're sending it to you so that way you have a chance to see the work for yourself, appreciate how, mashallah, amazing it is, so that way your family can benefit from this, and also support us so that way we can continue doing this kind of great work. All right, enough about me. Now we're going to go back to this topic. Oh, by the way, noorkids.com, noorkids.com. I'll see you there. Try it now. This deal's going to end tomorrow. Oh, on Sunday. Sorry, only 2 more days. Only 2 more days! Allahu Akbar. All right, finally, one last announcement. This is from Sarah, our social media person. She says, Amin, tell everyone, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us now. YouTube.com/NoorKids. Or just go and search Noor Kids and subscribe. All right, that's enough. All right, that was really glad we're out of that. Now, time for us to talk about this topic today. How do we feed our soul, and how do we make sure that this food is the best of food? Well, in order to help me, I'm going to be reading one of our books that we published about 2 years ago called You Are What You Eat. This is an amazing book. Now, before I actually read to you this book, I'm going to introduce you to the characters. Noor Kids follows the story of Amin, Shireen, Asad, and Amira. They live in a city called Maple Grove, and they go to a school called Northport Elementary. First, there's Shireen. You see her skateboarding here because she is a trailblazer just like her mom, who works for National Geographic. She has a twin brother named Jaffer. And there's Amin. You see Amin here playing with a kite, which I hope the weather is great where you are because, alhamdulillah, today in Minnesota, Minnesota is basically the best state in the whole world. If you didn't know where that is, it's pretty much amazing. Anyways, in Minnesota, and hopefully where you are, the weather's great. Amin is playing with his kite. Now, he has an older brother in college named Hasib, and the one thing about Amin is sometimes he does stuff without thinking about it. Because of that, he gets into trouble. Then there's Asad. Asad is a scientist. He loves to break things apart just to figure out how to put them back together again. He has a little baby sister named Yusra. Then there's Amira. You see Amira here rollerblading, which, by the way, did you know rollerblades were invented in Minnesota? Anyways, fun fact, Minnesota's so great. Anyways, Amira she loves art and poetry and painting, and she loves exploring all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's beauty through these types of arts. These four are the Noor Kids. I'm going to be reading you one story out of this book. Every book starts with a parent's page. I'm not going to actually be reading the first story. I am going to be reading the second story called Same, Same, But Different, because we're going to talk about this idea of halal. But before we do it, I need you to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Are you guys ready? Say it. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, good. Same, same, but different. It's Taco Tuesday at Northport Elementary, and all of the students are excited. All of them, except for Amin. By the way, I love tacos. I love burritos. I love chalupas. I also love lasagna. I love kebabs. I love hummus. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm fasting right now, and every time I think about food, it just, Allahu Akbar. Anyways, all right, so we're talking about tacos. Taco Tuesday. Amin gushes over his friend Ethan's tacos. Do you see those tacos right there? Man, Ethan, I want to take a bite so bad, says Amin as he licks his lips. Ethan breaks off some of his taco and gives it to Amin. Here, take some of mine, says Ethan. Oh, I can't, says Amin. I'm Muslim, and we have to eat a special kind of meat called halal. Halal? Sounds cool, says Ethan. Do you think it tastes the same? Asks Ethan. By the way, have you ever wondered why do Muslims eat halal food? Have you ever wondered that? Well, we're going to explore that. Amin examines Ethan's taco and shares his thoughts out loud. Well, your taco looks as scrumptious as the ones that I eat at home, and it smells as delectable as the ones I eat at home, so I'm pretty sure they taste the same too, says Amin. Ethan says, well, if it looks the same and smells the same and tastes the same, what makes it special? I'm actually not sure, says Amin. Let's ask my brother after school. After school, the boys go to Amin's house to meet Hasib. Hasib, do you know what makes halal food special? Asks Amin. Great question, says Hasib. My friend Qasim lives on a farm. Let's go on a field trip and ask him. They give each other a high five, and the boys get into Hasib's car, and he drives to Saffron Farm. Look at the look at the license plate. It says Noor Kids. Allahu Akbar. Anyways, when the boys arrive at Saffron Farm, they are astonished. They see vast wildflower meadows, cherry trees, and gardens. Chickens and goats roam free. Doesn't this look gorgeous? Allahu Akbar. There's some chickens. There's some goats. There are some cherry trees and a little barn. Qasim, the farmer, welcomes the group. Assalamu alaikum. You must be Amin. That's how Qasim sounds. I hear you've got some questions about halal food. Well, that's our specialty here, says Qasim. If halal food looks and smells the same as other food, then what makes it special, says Amin. Let's take a tour. I think that'll help, says Qasim. Amin doesn't know how a tour will answer his question, but he's excited anyway. Looking at the sky, Amin notices some storm clouds gathering in the distance. Uh-oh, says Amin. It's cloudy, says Ethan. I hope it won't rain. You guys see those clouds coming? Qasim leads the boys and Hasib to a flock of grazing chickens. Can we feed them? Asks Amin. They're free range, says Qasim. They get everything they need from the grass and earth. Wow, that's incredible, says Amin. So, gentlemen, what do you think halal even means? Asked Qasim. Halal food is pure, right? Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that pork and some other types of food are haram because they're not good for you. Qasim says, yep, well, that's part of it, but not all chickens are halal chickens. So what is it about these chickens that make them halal? It's how they were raised, says Amin. They're not treated badly like other chickens on the other farms, says Amin. Well, that's part of it too, but suddenly there's a thunderclap overhead and rain starts to pour down. Oh, rain, says Amin. Not Amin, don't you see? Amin sees the rain seeping into the soil, nourishing the crops. He watches the chickens drinking from small puddles. In places like Maple Grove, many people think that fruits and veggies and meat are made at the supermarket, but of course they aren't. Food comes from farms just like this one. And here, it's easy to see how everything from the small chickens to the giant corn stalks are all nourished by our Creator. Subhanallah, it all comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Halal is special not just because it is pure, because we treat the animals with respect. It is special because we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before we harvest anything. We say Bismillah and we remember that our food comes from Him. Now the story isn't finished, but I want to ask a couple of questions, okay? The first question I want to ask before we even get into everything that we've just heard, because mashallah, this is deep. This is like, oh my gosh, like you would have to dig like a huge hole because this is deep. Allahu Akbar. And this is why I love Noor Kids, because our stories have so much depth. But does it matter what we put into our bodies? Yes. Remember, just like I told you that story about the car at the beginning, if I put in bad gasoline, well, the car is going to get hurt. If I put in bad food, will that affect my body? Absolutely, but not just my body. Remember, we've been talking over the last few days that our life is not just about our body. Remember, we've also been talking about our soul. So if we put in bad food into our soul, will it hurt our soul? Absolutely. So we have to make sure that we are putting in the best of things, the best of foods to nourish our body and soul. Now, why might Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat? Why might Allah know this? Well, because Allah created us. Right? Remember, we talked about how Allah created us, and because of that, Allah, it's like He's our inventor, and every inventor has an instruction manual, and Allah gave us the Quran as our instruction manual. Right? Remember, we've been talking about that? Well, Allah knows what's best for us. Why? Because He created us. Imagine if you made like an invention or a robot or something like that. Well, you would then know what's best for it too, right? In the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's best for us. Now, how can we remind ourselves that all of our food comes from Allah? How can I, every time I eat, kind of remind myself that, man, this food comes from Allah? If we say Bismillah, before we eat it, then we can remember that this food comes from Allah. So anyways, in the story, what has happened so far, what we've discovered is that what makes something halal is not just the fact that it's special kinds of things, like, Muslims, we don't eat like pork, which is pig, right? Because it's dirty, right? But we do eat We do eat kitchens. Now, we don't eat kitchens, we eat chickens. But not all chickens are halal. Some are halal, some are not halal, right? So what is it that makes some chickens halal? Well, part of it is the way that we treat it. They have to be treated with respect, but that's not it. Before we harvest the animal, we say Bismillah. We remember that everything comes from Allah. We remember that. All right, let's continue. That is beautiful, says Ethan. Do you think remembering God changes the food? Right, just by us saying Bismillah, if we say Bismillah before we eat, does that change the food? That's a great question, Ethan. Check this out. Qasim grabs 2 apples. Can you tell which is better? He grabs 2 apples. Qasim cuts them in half. Look, one of them looks good. One of them is completely spoiled. There's even, if you look in here, there's worms inside. On the outside, the apples look the same, but on the inside, not so much. Humans are similar. On the outside, each of us has a body, and on the inside, each of us has a soul. When we eat halal food, we're not just feeding our bodies, but we're also nourishing our souls. Now, that's some food for thought, says Ethan. All this thinking and talking about food has made me hungry. Great. I made some tacos, says Qasim. The end. Bum, ba-dum. Will you guys give me a round of applause? Round of applause. Alhamdulillah, that was an amazing story, and I hope you guys learned an important lesson. The important lesson is on nourishing our body and our soul. How do we do it? By eating halal food. Halal food, when we eat halal, why do we eat it? Because it nourishes our body and our soul in the best of ways, and we know something is halal based off of, not only the way the animal is treated or the specific animal that we eat, but also by saying Bismillah, right? And we're supposed to say Bismillah before we harvest the animal. And also, every time before we eat, if we say Bismillah, it's like we are able to nourish our soul in the best of ways. Now, this can't be understated because, look, over the month of Ramadan, we've been doing something called fasting. And when we've been fasting, we have not been eating. We've been purifying our bodies and we've been purifying our souls. So, today's like day 20. So if you've been fasting or even half-day fasting, this whole process has been making us pure. And in order for us to stay pure, so that way when we, inshallah, are able to connect with Allah and we can be pure when we do it, we should make sure that we are eating halal food and keeping this type of food in our system. So going forward, none of that bad stuff, none of that, as I call it, bakwas. That's basically bad food. Don't eat bad food. Eat good stuff, halal stuff. All right, bismillah. Now, if you've been watching the last few days, you know that we've been doing a dad joke challenge. What's the dad joke challenge? Well, let me show this quick video. I want you to think of your best, funniest Muslim dad joke. I want you to record yourself by clicking the button below, and I want you to share. I'm going to be picking my 10 favorite Muslim dad joke. Alright, so here's the thing. We've been doing dad jokes. Dad jokes are kind of corny jokes. Jokes that are like, oh my goodness, did he really just say that? And we've been sharing them. And alhamdulillah, I think today is day 2 of our dad joke challenge. We have 2 more days left. 2 more. That means if you still want to submit a dad joke, you can, number 1, do it on our app. If you don't have our app, download our app now. It's just go search for Noor Kids, and you'll be able to download it, which is amazing. So just search for Noor Kids, and you'll be able to download it, and that's amazing. So you'll be able to do it on our app, or you can go to nourkids.com/dadjoke, all right, and submit it there. All right, so that said, I have picked out some of my most favorite dad jokes. I'm going to show them to you now. And if you have submitted your dad joke and I'm not showing it yet, don't be sad, don't be disappointed. I still might be sharing it soon because there's a lot of dad jokes here, and I can't pick all of them at once. It becomes very difficult to do. So I'm only going to be, picking a couple of them every single day. But inshallah, if yours has not been picked yet, it may, I likely will, inshallah, pick it on one of the future days. All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let me put this up. Here we go. Oh, all right, we'll do this one first.
Hi, Amin. This is Alina from California.
Hi, Alina from California.
Muslim dad joke.
All right.
Why are Ramadan lights better than Christmas lights?
Why are Ramadan lights better than Christmas lights? And what? By the way, Alina has some beautiful Ramadan decoration. I wish I was there. Oh my gosh, it looks so much fun. Why are Ramadan lights better than Christmas lights? And look, Christmas lights during December, they're everywhere. But what's so special about Ramadan lights?
Why?
Because they're fun news.
They're fanus. So now, if you don't know what fanus is, all right, fanus is kind of like an Arabic word for lantern. Okay, so that's kind of one where you need to know a little bit of Arabic to get that one, because fanus is like a lantern, and like during Ramadan, like people use lanterns. Anyways, very good, great dad joke. All right, let's listen to this one. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Hi, Sulaiman. Oh man, I love you too, buddy. Whoa. Did you guys see that there's a little baby who just walked by? Let's watch it again. Allahu Akbar.
And I really love Noor Kids.
Allah! There's a little baby that walked through. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine, like, mom or dad was recording and he was, like, talking and the little baby was like, hey, I want some attention too. Anyways, all right, this one last one. Let's continue.
And I have a dad joke for you.
All right.
What did the butterfly have for iftar?
What did the butterfly have for iftar? Flapjacks. Oh my gosh, flapjacks. Now, if you don't know what flapjacks are like pancakes, okay? If you know what a pancake is, that's the same thing as a flapjack. Butterflies, they flap their wings. So, Allah, that was a very good one. Congratulations, that's hilarious. All right, let's do this one.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
My name is Aisha and I am from Plymouth, Minneapolis.
What? Plymouth, Minneapolis? That's like 5 minutes away from where I live. Aisha, you should come to our office someday. Any day, anytime. Tell your mom and dad to text me. And inshallah, well, not any day, anytime. But tell your mom and dad to text me. And this goes for everyone. If you're ever in Minnesota, which, again, Minnesota, best place in the world. Allahu Akbar. Makkah, Medina. These places are pretty special too. But Minnesota's a close second. Anyways, come visit our office. All right, Aisha, let's hear what you got.
I'm 7.5 years old and I'm going to do a dad joke.
Mm-hmm.
What did the moose say to her friends? Let's go to the musalla.
Oh my gosh. Let's go to the musalla. Allahu Akbar. Very good, Aisha. That's hilarious.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salek Remji from Irvine, California, and I'm 10 years old. And I'm going to do a dad joke. My dad joke is, why do cows like the Middle East?
Why do cows like the Middle East?
Because everyone is Muslim.
Everyone is Muslim. Allahu Akbar. This is mashallah. I'm enjoying these cow jokes.
Assalamu alaikum. This is my dad joke. What did the plant say when it was time for iftar? Oh wow, there's plenty to eat. Our kids.
There's plenty to eat. Allahu Akbar. Very good. And mashallah, beautiful smile. This was a great one. All right, this is the last one. Let's listen to this one.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Habiba and I'm 10 years old.
Hi, Habiba.
I'm also 10-year-old.
Hi, Mariam.
BFFs, okay? Not
Yeah, we're like
sisters.
really good friends, okay?
Oh, okay.
Don't get
We
mixed
call
up.
ourselves sisters.
Yeah, we're like really good friends, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, anyway, today we're going to be telling you our favorite Muslim dad joke, which we made up. So it's going to be like, maybe you won't get it, but we're going to explain it to you in the end. She's going to explain it to you.
Okay, so P.S. Let me just give you something real quick. If before you tell your dad joke, you say, I don't think you're going to get it. What that means is that this is going to be an amazing dad joke. I can't wait for it. All right, let's listen. Let's listen.
Explain it to you in the end. She's going to explain it to you, my bestie. Okay, our Muslim dad joke is, why does Eid come after Ramadan?
Why does
Because you
Eid?
eat ribs. Get it? Because like Ramadan, you fast. And in Eid, you take a break from fasting until next year. So you cut the wool off the sheep and you eat it. So you eat its ribs.
Oh my
You
God.
bad for a sheep, so ribs.
I actually have something, and R for ribs is like the same as R for Ramadan. So like,
Allahu Akbar.
Thank you so much.
Friends of Noor Kids.
Yeah, we watched all your episodes.
I wish
Thank
to come
you.
live, but my mom just doesn't let me because I have to sleep.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Well, thank you so much for watching. That was funny. Hey, you guys. So, inshallah, we will see you again, same place, same time. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are coming. And in fact, they are here. Starting tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to try to make the most of our time together. The programs are going to be a little bit shorter, so that way we can, inshallah, make it just like really, really high quality and really, really good. Because even for me, I want to be spending a lot of my time in the masjid as well. But these are special, special days that are coming, and special, special nights. When you go to the masjid and you just stand there, you're going to be able to feel it. I can't wait for some of the topics that we're going to be talking about over the next 10 nights, and I can't wait for you to join me for them. With that, I want to thank you so much, and just a final reminder, our Noor Kids special, it's only here for 2 more days. If this is something you want to benefit from, tell your mom and dad, or if mom and dad are watching, look, you see the high quality work that we're doing. Your kids are going to fall in love with Islam through it. Join Noor Kids at noorkids.com. Support our efforts and allow your children to benefit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.